Hey everyone, welcome back to another lesson in the art of travel photography. We're talking about white balancing our photos in Lightroom, and I'll show you some really easy ways to do so and how to fix a couple problems. So this image I took at the airport in Taipei, and I was shooting through glass, and the glass had this greenish blue tint that gave everything this weird kind of white balance, and I didn't properly white balance while I was shooting just because I was walking around shooting really quick, but I knew I can fix it in post-production. So an easy way to do this is to select this white balance eyedropper, and I know that this plane, the part of the plane right here, is supposed to be white, or Hello Kitty's face is supposed to be white, so I'm going to click on that, and you get a nice white balanced picture. Now you know the green is actually the right green, the yellows and the pinks are actually correct. I might play around with this a little bit. I think it's a little bit too, has this pinkish tint or magenta tint, so I'm going to decrease this a little bit and maybe warm it up just slightly. And of course, playing with the contrast and the exposure will help this picture a lot. But at least right now, the white balance is fixed. I'm going to reset that and just show you that if you go through these white balance options, you can try, but it's going to be hard to get one that matches for this case when you're shooting through a green window, because there's not an option for shooting through green window. And so you're just going to have to custom white balance it by selecting the eyedropper, selecting a white part of the image, and now you have it correctly white balanced. Here's one that you'll come across quite often. Shooting indoors, you'll have tungsten light and everything will have this orange glow to it. My skin really isn't that orange. The walls really weren't that orange. They were more of a white, but because of the lighting, it looks orange. So you can either use the white balance selector, or you can just kind of use the slider for the temperature and see what you think is natural. So I'm just going to use that. So I'm going to decrease, add some more blues. As I add more blues though, my skin tone looks a little bit blue and pink. So I'm going to decrease the tint over here, the magenta. And now you're getting something that's a little bit more natural. So something like this. And that's, pretty natural compared to this. Another idea is to use the eyedropper, select the wall or something that you think is white. I think this wall was actually off-white, so maybe this cup will be good. So that cup actually gives probably the best white balance that you have. I would actually add a little bit more blue to this, cool it down just a bit so that our skin colors look more natural. But it's really hard because you have some light coming in from outside over here that's shining on Isabel's grandma, and so her skin, now it has this kind of bluish tint, even though my skin looks more natural. So white balance is hard. You can always decrease the saturation. That can help with white balance, because obviously if there is no saturation, white balance doesn't matter. But just decreasing it, by 10 or 15 points can help you in a pinch. Here's one more option for white balance. Again, we have really harsh yellow lights. We didn't use a flash for this image, but my shirt I know is white, so I'm going to go ahead and select the eyedropper, click that, and now you have a properly white balanced image. I'm going to reset that, and then we'll see it should be tungsten lights, so I'll do tungsten. And so now you have a pretty close to white balance image. You can try these other ones. There were some fluorescent lights in there as well. You can try auto, and auto comes pretty close. As shot, it's definitely warmer. If it looks too warm or too cool, you can always change those with the slider. But as you can see here, again, you have the blue light coming from the sun the cooler light, especially when it was cloudy out, and then you have the warm lights coming from the tungsten lights above, so it's really tricky to get proper white balance. I think the best, most natural looking skin tones come when I use the eyedropper. That seems to be your best bet if there is something white in your image to use. So, thank you for watching this lesson. I hope you now know how to white balance your images. If you have questions still, please let me know. Otherwise, I will see you in the next lesson. Bye.